This is a story about a recent encounter I had with a fellow business professional in the healthcare industry. Now, mind you, just to give you context, I am Darius Dior Porche. I am the owner and operator of a content agency here in South Carolina. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Summerton, South Carolina, and I just started my entrepreneurial journey about 3 years ago. Now, I started my company, and my company is different simply because we are scribal and incredibly interested in telling the real stories of real people. Now, while we specialize in photography and videography, we take those skills and those drills and make stories come to life. There were real people that followed Jesus around in the day that he walked the earth, and they were called scribes. And you could even suggest that some of the disciples were scribes because they formulated what we call the gospel. Now, this is the heart of my company and its name, Thinking Kingdom. However, in 2025, it's important that we transition this mindset and that skill set, make it applicable to today's world. Now, back to the story. This gentleman, after I communicated to him what I do and why I do it, simply to engage him on an authentic level in hopes that I could possibly be patronized by him or simply just provide a service that he, and so does everyone else, specifically needs, which is content. Now, it's important that we remember that we're living in a digital age. Like, we went from agriculture to industrial to the age of information. And all of that transition is based on the digital platforms that we engage every day. 99% of your customer base is on their phone waiting for you to instruct them and tell them how they need to spend their money. Now, after I shared my journey and where I am and where I'm going with this gentleman, he suggested that I do the same thing I've been doing my entire life, which is get a job. Not everybody gets to be a leader. Not everybody is made to be the boss. Not everybody is supposed to be an entrepreneur. While that may be true, I want to encourage you to remember that not everybody's going to clap for you. Not everybody's going to understand where you're going and what you're doing and why you're doing it, right? And when he gave me his feedback, and I realized that it wasn't just generalities, but he was literally responding to the 60-second elevator speech that I gave him about who I am and what I do. I had to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I had to literally eat the meat and spit out the bone. But I approached that with grace, and I asked him to follow up with me, share my contact information, and sent him my website. Now, why am I sharing this story? Because I was proud of the man that he was, being a black man in his 50s, giving me feedback to possibly encourage my direction in life and let me know who he was and what he did. And he said that he flipped cars and flipped houses, and he's been doing it for 30 years now. Doing the math, that's like most of my life. And he said, I've been doing that the entire time while having a job. And I asked him specifically why. If, you're obviously wealthy, you got some riches. I can see his house was large and his, situation was in a space that communicated that he wasn't lacking for no money. And so his response was the benefits. Now, while I respect that 100%, because it makes sense, sometimes working on a job makes more sense than coming out here and taking risks and risking your health, your family, your relationships, all for the vision and for the dream that you have. But at the same time, you don't want to end up 70 and regret the time that you didn't spend building the thing that you really know in your heart that you want to build. So while I'm an entrepreneur and a business owner, I'm also an artist. I do kingdom music and rap ministry. And he also, communicated to me that I was an aspiring artist as well. And what am I going to do when I'm 55 and 60 and I haven't invested in any 401k and I haven't set up an IRA, which I do have financial plans set up and put in place for me right now. Because ultimately you're invested in yourself when you set those things up. But they could be more expensive, a little bit more costly, and takes a little bit more effort and energy to manage on your own. But at the same time, I was aware of what he was communicating to me. But I could have taken offense, right? And I could have been on the fence about engaging him, but I didn't do that. I responded with tact and with a level of professionalism that he couldn't do anything but respect. And I'm just sharing this story with you because I felt inspired while I was editing some projects tonight to just remind you to keep going. Nobody's got the pen to your story but you. Like, you are literally helping the Most High author out what it is that he has for your life. And I just want to keep you encouraged in that way, because everybody's not going to clap for you. Not everybody's going to have the same level of emotional attachment to the dream and to the vision that you have for your company, for your business. All right? Peace and grace is Darius Dior. Salute to you.